lot of people even ask me this question of how I could actually share screen space with Prakash, with whom I disagree so much on every count. You have to separate the art from the artist. Rajinikanth ಯಾಕೆ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಜನ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಕಮಲ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಬಂದ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. And Kamal has always aspired to be a Rajini, which he never could. No, in spite of his political party and all that, he never could be a Rajini. Amitabh Bachchan's biggest challenge was to come to television. For a person to transition from cinema to TV was taken to be something much, much below their stardom. The last of such people I've seen is Saroja. They never broke away from that image. They could not. I said, buy a phone, go shoot your film. It's as democratic as that.
Correct, yeah.
Right? Why do you need a camera and some superstar darshan to feature in your film? Go make your film. If it's good, people will watch it.
Yeah.
We all get married multiple times in movies. That's a different matter. Once you're a Hindu bride, another time you may be a Christian bride. I have worn that gown so many times. Nangena asene illappa bili gown hakolake. Ana ಕೆಂಚಾಲ ಮಂಚಾಲ ಹಾಡಿ ಕೆಂಚಾಲ ಮಂಚಾಲ ಇರಪ್ಪ, ಬೇಂದ್ರೆ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಕುವೆಂಪು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ನರಸಿಂಹಸ್ವಾಮಿಗಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಹಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು ಹಾಡ್ತೀನಪ್ಪ. C. Ashwath was this fascinating person.
You know him well?
Very well. He was Sitaram's best friend also. Fascinating person. And if he saw some good performance or something, he'd be the first one. Those days, landline. No? Adbhuta country, Adbhuta, he would say. Okay. So he was this, in many ways, I think he's not celebrated the way he should have been. He and Baisuranath Swami. And Kaling Rao before that. See, you don't even know these names. Unfortunately, this generation doesn't even know these names. You don't know Kaling Rao. Kaling Rao, of course, namge doddavaru. We knew Mysore Anand Swami and we knew C. Ashwath. We had heard them sing. Mysore Anand Swami also was of the previous generation and he died at a very young age, just as Raju did. But Ashwath was there for us. Till he was 70. On his 70th birthday, a day before that, he passed away. So Ashwath would say, ನಾನು ಹೋಗಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಭಾವಗೀತೆ ಹಾಡೋಣ ಅಂತ, ಅಣ್ಣ ಕೆಂಚಾಲ ಮಂಚಾಲ ಹಾಡಿ ಕೆಂಚಾಲ ಮಂಚಾಲ ಇರಪ್ಪ, ಬೇಂದ್ರೆ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಕುವೆಂಪು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ನರಸಿಂಹಸ್ವಾಮಿಗಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಹಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು ಹಾಡ್ತೀನಪ್ಪ.
ಕಲ್ಚರಲ್ ಶಾಕ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ.
ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲರ್ ಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬ್ಲೇಮ್ ಎನಿಬಡಿ ಫಾರ್ ಇಟ್. ಅವನಿಗೆ ಅದೇ ಕೆಂಚಾಲ ಮಂಚಾಲ ಗೊತ್ತು, ನೀವು ಜೋಗದ ಸಿರಿ ನೀವು ಹಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಅವನಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋದು ಕೆಂಚಾಲ ಮಂಚಾಲ. ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲರ್ ಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು, ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಐ ಸೆಡ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್. ಇವರಾ ಒಪ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದ? ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅನ್ ಆರ್ಟಿಸ್ಟ್, if you ask me, a lot of people even ask me this question of how I could actually share screen space with Prakash, with whom I disagree so much on every count.
Sure.
But it's acting, no. For me, it's a profession. It's a character I'm playing. It's not me. I am not saying those lines.
Yeah.
Similarly, for Ashwath, it's a song. He's a singer, basically.
Yeah.
His ideology or his politics may be different from the songs he sings.
Yeah. Just like Kishore and Rishabh Shetty in Kantara, and they kept it cordial because they have a very good working relation and all of that.
That's why, Avinash very famously says you have to separate the art from the artist.
Yeah. No, navibru idu Kishore avardu recent play itu love letters antara.
Was it good?
Yeah.
You like?
No, it's just like one.
But I'll tell you something. Letters. People who agree only with our philosophy are accepting of what they do. They will never come and watch a play I do.
Yeah. Look, Chetana himself avreಲ್ಲ.
Ask him to come and watch a play I do. He won't. We are very accepting. But now media is so democratized. You have a camera in your hand, you go shoot your film, right? Monday, I had this huge argument with a boy who sort of, who's ultra left. He said, no opportunity. And, you upper caste Hindus take away opportunity. This and that. I said, buy a phone, go shoot your film. It's as democratic as that.
Correct, yeah.
Right? Why do you need a camera and, some superstar darshan to feature in your film? Go make your film. If it's good, people will watch it.
Yeah.
People don't see who made the film, what is his jati, no?
Correct.
Do you know the caste of the maker? Until he comes forth and says it in some other context. Is that how you judge a film? No, caste, gender, these things don't matter. Art is one thing that has no gender, that has no caste. Where is gender in art show? Like Kamal Haasan was the next Sivaji Ganesan, and Rajinikanth was the next MGR. One is a mass hero, the other fellow is an actor.
Setty wants to be the next Shankar Nag of sorts.
You fashion yourself like that. That's not based on caste.
Correct, yeah.
That's not based on caste. I told you, I mean, the MGR was the mass hero. Rajinikanth was the mass hero. He's the mass hero. Sivaji Ganesan was the actor. Many of his films failed.
Yeah.
He was a terrible failure in politics. But he is still the greatest actor that country has seen, the Tamil people have seen. So Kamal Haasan was more the Sivaji Ganesan, exploring, characters, makeup, performances, all of that. Never a mass hero. No, how many films of Kamal have failed in comparison? And Kamal has always aspired to be a Rajini, which he never could. No, in spite of his political party and all that, he never could be a Rajini.
Yeah.
Charu Hasan very nicely put it in those days when Kamal came to politics and started that Makkal Nidhi Mayam. Very nicely said. Rajinikanth, people ask why he's not coming to politics. Rajinikanth ಯಾಕೆ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಜನ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕಮಲ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಬಂದ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
Correct.
இவர் ஏன் வரலன்னு கேக்குறாங்க, அவர் ஏன் வந்தாருன்னு கேக்குறாங்க. So this is the difference between a mass hero
and all this just a Rajya Sabha seat. I mean, it's
he sold his party.
Correct.
And it was a barter. Yeah. I'll give you my party, you give me a Rajya Sabha.
It's his pension fund.
And he came onto the fore. I mean, you had to see the the jumping and the screaming and the hyperventilating when he came. He broke television. No, you know why he broke television? See, look at this beautiful politics that Kalaignar did in the early 2000s. Satellite television had just come into India.
Yeah.
Homes predominantly had black and white TVs. And black and white TVs did not have the bandwidth to have so many channels.
Correct.
Okay. Black and white TV, ಈಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಡಯಾನೋರಾ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಟಿವಿ ಇತ್ತು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು Solidaire. Solidaire was the other. It used to be like a box and you could tune it like a radio. So this Solidaire and Dianora, and then there was an Oneida. Okay, these were the television sets, all black and white. They could only take what the government's airwaves were, the antenna that the government brought. So when satellite came, then it was relaying directly from the satellite. So they didn't have the bandwidth to handle them. Like your average radio cannot handle FM. No? So what Kalaignar did was, he distributed color television, free color television to the entire state and won that election, man. A lot of think like that. Because Sun TV had just set in.
Thereby you create a market for yourself.
So Sun TV was so clever. They captured the satellite market by distributing. So an election was won and Sun TV became the dominant player. And they dominated for 20 years. It's only in the last 10 years that the Sun TV is receded. They are receded in position only in the last 10 years, with all this Big Boss and all of that coming. Colors and all those guys coming. But otherwise, it was very unequal.
Yeah.
So look at
all these serials are also largely Sun TV, Radhika.
Those days.
Yeah, correct.
So, and, if you went to a small town or village or whatever, Sun TV irka unga veetla is what they would ask.
Correct, not TV irka.
Not satellite TV irka. So for them,
ಅಂಗಡಿಯಲ್ಲೂ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಗೊತ್ತಾ ಸನ್ ಟಿವಿ ಪೋಡಿನ ಅಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ.
ದೂರದರ್ಶನ್ ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಸನ್ ಟಿವಿನೇ. Those days, satellite was controlled by the cable operators, right?
Correct. They were literally street thugs.
So those cable operators decided what channels you watch. Now it's all democratized. You have OTT. So those guys decided what you watch. The cable operators. Sun TV controlled the cable operators. They had a Sumangali cable network, which was the only cable available in most parts of Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
That's how they controlled the market. Jayalalitha, what she did was, I think it was in 2011 or something, she started something called Arasu Cable, which was a government-owned cable. She made the field equal for all. That way, Sun TV slowly lost its
Jaya
dominance
TV.
and the others came. Not so much Jaya TV, I think Vijay TV and all of them, which was Star's channel. So, in many ways, she sort of broke that dominance of Sun TV with Arasu Cable. It's also something. Tamil Nadu has had a very strange, intertwining of politics and cinema.
Correct. No, in Karnataka, in Kasturi.
ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ.
ಅಷ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ.
ಇಲ್ಲ, if Dr. Rajkumar had become a politician, then we would have mixed up the two. Otherwise, there have been people who've come and gone.
Now nobody can attain that.
Nobody can attain that because everything is democratized, no? You're watching your film on a small phone, no? See, when we started acting, shooting in real locations itself was a big thing. And, the senior actors wouldn't want to be seen in makeup in public.
Go outside. Achha, okay.
Because they didn't want to be available to be seen. If you ask me, Amitabh Bachchan's biggest challenge was to come to television.
That's why there was so much hype about Mumbai studios, all these big studios which used to be there.
About Amitabh coming to TV, I think if you ask me, for a person to transition from cinema to TV was taken to be something much, much below their, their stardom. Because they did not want to be available to people.
Yeah.
They wanted to remain those enigma kind of, that enigma had to remain.
Yeah.
Because they wanted people to believe what they saw. If you see Amitabh Bachchan standing on the street, he'll not be that guy in Coolie or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Who Mukaddar Ka Sikandar and all those films that we saw. I don't know if you all have seen the 80s. Amitabh was like the unbelievable superstar. So, if he were to stand on the street in Mumbai, then nobody would take him seriously, no. So for them to come out of the studios, they found it very hard to come out of studios and shoot these superstars of those days. Hence, the people had that larger than life image of them. Now, what everybody is standing on the street only.
Yeah.
They are available on the phone. They are available, right, on Instagram, whatever. I went to a movie with my wife. Some superstar like Yash will say, my children are playing in the garden or something, right? So, you know what their life is like. Those days it used to be
Correct.
Mysterious. Which is why, these stars were like, you could see people like Saroja Devi still holding on to that.
Yeah.
She never wanted to be.
Yeah, that's why gossip columns used to work, because people genuinely wanted to know there's so much mystery around them.
They would never reveal.
Yeah. Illadre avare madkonta irtare dinakkondu.
The last of such people I've seen is Saroja Devi. She would never come out in, say, a casual salwar kameez or whatever, or a nightie. You could never catch her like. You had to see her only in that, that reshmi sire with all the jewelry in place.
Yeah.
With her whatever makeup she could do it, even at that age, with that lipstick. They never broke away from that image. They could not. You still see Rekha doing it. Can you ever see her underdressed? You never see her underdressed. No.
Correct.
Even those airport whatever looks and all that.
Correct.
No. Wedding, she is mostly, I don't know, most weddings she must be looking better than the bride.
Yeah.
She must be wearing a better kanjivaram than the bride.
That comes from that culture. Basically, now, ಇವಾಗ ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮನ ಆಚೆ ಹೋದ್ರು ಸೀರೆ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಪಂಚೆ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋದು ಆ ತರ
that is that is one part of the story of you wanting to be like that. For somebody like me, or for today's or whatever, people in public life, you don't know when you will be caught by which camera. Therefore, you better look fine all the time.
Correct.
Huh? No.
Yeah.
Ma'am, one selfie. You can't even deny that selfie. If you want the next vote, how can you deny the selfie?
Yeah.
If I didn't want a vote, I would probably say, illa ma innond sati kodtini. But I want that person to vote for BJP, so I will stand for that selfie. That selfie will go on Instagram or wherever else. So I better look decent.
Yeah.
So today you are forced. But that's not true only of actors or people in public life. It's true of the average woman or man also. No, same sire I won't repeat. ಈ ಫೋಟೋ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ನೋಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ, ಫೇಸ್ಬುಕ್ಕಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಾಯ್ತು ಈ ಮದುವೆಯಲ್ಲಿ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸತಿ ಆ ಸೀರೆ ಉಟ್ಕೊಳಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. That part I don't like. I like to repeat my sarees. And ಮೊನ್ನೆ somebody said, ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಈ ಸೀರೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ಉಟ್ಟಿದ್ರಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಅದೇ. I said, so I can wear it again. I like this saree.
Yeah.
What stops me from repeating it? Why should I wear it again? Even the men, yeah. I'm not just talking about women. Even the men, they won't repeat their...
But there is a huge rental culture now because people can't afford to buy so much, but they still want to be seen wearing something different every day.
That I feel sorry for. Wedding is the one day I'd like to make my own.
Yeah.
Wedding is the one day I'd like to wear my own jewelry. Wedding is the one day that I'm being celebrated, right? The average person, right? We all get married multiple times in movies. That's a different matter. Once you're a Hindu bride, another time you may be a Christian bride. I've worn that gown so many times. Nangena asene illappa bili gown hakolakke. So hange, I mean, you get to explore. The common man gets to have a pompous wedding only once. I'm not saying you stop at one marriage today, but still it's okay. So I'd like to own it. I'd like to wear a sari that belongs to me, that I'd like to keep, right? And show my daughter I wore this or something. Adu hoಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ರೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ. What does our life come to, yeah? See, if you want some Sabyasachi or whatever, if you can afford it, buy it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, buy a good Kanjivaram sari and wear it. No?
Yeah.
What stops you? Why should it carry that Sabyasachi brand or whatever? If you can't afford it.
Correct.
If you can, even if you can afford it, I have not seen any of the girls repeat that gown ever again.
Yeah, it's only one.
ನಾವು ಹರಿದೋಗೋಷ್ಟು ಮದುವೆ ಸೀರೆ ಉಟ್ಕೊಂಡಾಯ್ತು ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ, ಅಪ್ ಟು ಮೈ ಜನರೇಷನ್. ನಾಟ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ದಟ್ ಇದು ಏನು ಸ್ಯಾರಿ ಡ್ರೇಪಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಯಾರಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಐ ಮೀನ್ ನಾನು ಓಡಿಸ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಸ್ಯಾರಿ ಡ್ರೇಪಿಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಸಿನಿಮಾದಲ್ಲಿ, ನಡಿ ಆಚೆ, ನನಗೇನು ಸೀರೆ ಉಡ್ಸೋದು ನೀನು ಅಂತ ಕಳಿಸ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು. ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಪ್ಲೀಟೆಡ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ವೇ. They wear one head idu, one necklace here, one necklace here, one necklace here, one necklace here, one necklace. Yeah. Then you can make out it's all rented jewelry. Then one jade, the flowers are all perfected. All the bride, and the same makeup for all the same eyelash, same eyebrow, same everything for all the brides. You call me conservative, you call me old fashioned, you call me urinary, sampradayavadi, whatever. I am like, you're letting some guy drape a saree for on the day of your wedding. At least if the husband comes and drapes it, it's okay. I mean, I don't know why they pick it up as a profession. Great. I think they're all fashion stylists or whatever. You're just standing like that. That fellow is wrapping the saree around you. Namgella culture shock adu. Today we are the youngest nation.
Yeah.
70% of India is below 40.
Yeah.
65 to 70% of India is below 40. We are the youngest nation in the world, right? Countries like Japan have aged beyond repair.
Yeah.
They are incentivizing childbirth. Italy, we found out in COVID, was the oldest nation in the world. So how much time will it take before we also become that? No?
Yeah.
Because if you are going to have fewer and fewer children, and there is a tribe that is growing and hitting your face with they multiply with each passing day.
Yeah.
They believe in the strength, that their strength is in numbers.
Yeah, correct.
No. So you are up against them. So what will happen to the Hindu population? It will eventually diminish and age. So India 60 years from now, 70 years from now will not be a young nation.
I don't think that, I mean, they say that even the Muslims TFR is coming down. But in terms of numbers, it's...
Hindu ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, Hindu is everybody who lives on this land, no? Hindu is not a religious sect, right? Religion is part of this dharma. This dharma is much larger than religion. Your rituals, your puja, your temple. Does anyone force you to go to a temple?
No.
Nobody does. Does anyone force you to believe in God? Nobody does. Because this is a civilization that has seen Charvaka, no?
Yeah.
We have seen Charvaka.
Yeah.
He opposed. He was an atheist. So, it is a dharma which believes that dharma should be supreme. You are a ruler, your Raja Dharma is above everything else. You are a mother, your Matru Dharma is ever. So, dharma prevails. Not so much, you cannot reduce it to a religion.
Correct.
or a religious practice that some may or may not follow. Can you not go to the church and still be part of their community on Sunday? They'll mark you absent. No?
Correct.
So, why I'm saying this is a land that believes in dharma. That's all. Dharma is in many ways what sustains this nation or these people. But the Hindus have never been challenged in terms of numbers as they are today.
Yeah.
Why have we survived in spite of 1,000 years of invasion? Is because we just thrived. They were invaders, right? They came and converted.
Correct.
Right? They didn't procreate.
Yeah.
They came and converted.
Yeah.
Now they are procreating.
Correct.
We very soon will be taken over. It is no longer 20 and 21% anywhere in India.
Yeah.
It's no longer. That's a myth. This minority is a myth. They're increasing in numbers. So we'll as a nation, our survival will depend on Hindutva surviving. There has been an exodus from Kashmir. Right?
Yeah.
There is an exodus from Bangladesh for various reasons, right? The exodus is not of the Hindus, it's of the Rohingyas and the Bangladeshi Muslims, right? They are coming, they are just like how everybody is trying to, from Mexico, are trying to enter America, they are trying to, India to the porous borders, which has not been fenced, thank you to Mamata Banerjee. They are entering, but look at the way they thrive.
Correct.
On very, meager means. And then the next and the generator after that will be very different, no? They will not be Bangladeshi anymore.
Yeah. Even apartment society, they literally did a filtering out process to find out Bangladeshis. His maid was a Bangladeshi. He never knew.
ಬಂದಾಗ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗತ್ತೆ ಯೋಗ್ಯತೆ.
His maid was a Bangladeshi. He never knew.
He won't know.
How can it possibly?
You can know.
You can know.
You can know. You can make out.
In our swimming pool, there's a security guard, Prestige alli. Avunu Assam, he's a homie. So he's basically telling, sir, ये Bangladeshi है, उसको पैसा मत देना. Like उसके पास आधार कार्ड भी है अंता. So that's how like slowly things are like starting to come out.
Being poor does not give you the right to be lazy.
Yeah. No, they're encouraging laziness among people. But
This welfare politics, many years ago, I found it startling as somebody who observes policy and politics and public administration. I found it appalling that yes, you give grains.
Yeah.
They cook the grains at home, they make their food and eat it. It's okay to give grains. Subsidize ಮಾಡಿ ರೇಷನ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಿರೋ, or Modi is doing that, for the last 6 years. Because COVID was a situation that, that created that scarcity for food. But here was a Jayalalitha in 2011, I think, who cooked food and served.
Amma canteen.
To me, that was... They
used to give saris for marriages, laptops.
That's okay. That is still okay. When you cook food and give it to people, then what is it that they do? You give them grains, let them cook it. Don't give them cooked food. Something they need to do. No?
Yeah.
So you're taking away that, I don't know, that, what do you say, that dignity from those people, I feel.
Yeah.
When you do that, I felt that this is not, she gave mixie, was okay. Kalanger gave TVs, were okay. Those things were all okay. Because they improved your standard of living or your quality of life. But it was a success here also, Muchbutro. The Indira canteen, it was a success here. The urban poor. Bihar Hatsavara is different. Bihar Hatsavara is creating livelihood. There is accountability there.
Yeah.
You are not taking Hatsavara and buying a sari for yourself.
Yeah.
You are going to use up that Hatsavara to sustain, to create some means of livelihood for yourself.
Yeah.
That is different. When you give an interest-free mudra loan, when you give a security-free mudra loan, that is different.
All this Awas Yojana, for instance, it's extremely helpful. Those kind of schemes.
Awas Yojana, yes. Awas Yojana, the interesting thing that Prime Minister Modi did, unlike his predecessors, is housing for the poor. That's that's the basis for the housing scheme. But what Modi ji did as against the others was that he gave these homes to women, not to men. It's the woman of the house who would get it.
No, that's a very healthy trait that
Because the man would take the papers
We have no
and go
hopes
and pledge it in some local wine store.
yeah.
So see, this is what you do, no? You can't do something totally different.
Yeah.
You just do it differently.